Hello and welcome to another edition of the Football Jury. I am your host, Ayokunle, the jury in the courtroom today. My partner Isaac is not around, but we are happy to be broadcasting live to you once again. If you are new to this channel, this is a football channel that discusses topical football issues, tactical discussions. We are mainly Man United fans, so we might be a bit biased to Man United content. We'll do more Man United content, but we try to cover the beautiful game as much as possible. So, welcome. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this to your friends, and let them get on to engage in today's topic. All right, so we'll be taking a break from World Cup broadcast to talk about the transfer of Mateus Fernandes from West Ham United to Tottenham Hotspurs for the price of £85 million. I repeat, £85 million, and £85 million deal has been agreed between West Ham United and Tottenham Hotspurs for the transfer of the Portuguese footballer, 21-year-old central midfielder Mateus Fernandes. All right, so what do I think about this transfer, right? Let me first start from when I first got to know about Mateus Fernandes. I got to know about him when he was playing for Southampton, yes, 2 seasons ago. That was 2024-2025 season. And I saw him as probably a slightly, of course, cheaper alternative to Bruno Fernandes at Man United, as a second number 10-ish or an 8-ish. But I never saw him as a deep line playmaker, which he excelled at in the previous season while playing for West Ham United. And to be fair to the boy, fantastic boy, great tactical intelligence, great technical ability to, always puts its foot in, always puts its body where it's ought. It can dictate the game of the pace or the pace of the game. It can dictate the pace of the game. Yes, I mean, it can play long balls, short passing. It can score goals too, and he has a good ball striking ability. All right, so he can play as a deep line playmaker. He can play as a register. He can play as an attacking midfielder. So it looks to be the complete profile, except that of course he's got a lot of maturity to do, a lot of maturing to do at the age of 21. And I guess that is excusable. That is understandable. Not everybody will come polished. Not everybody will be world class or have that stature at 21. All right. So now for the price of for this fee, okay, as a Man United fan, I know that Man United were interested in signing Mateus Fernandes. All right. Although Man United had a cap, I really don't know what the media reported that Man United set as their maximum. But I know that Man United had a price that they were not going to go above, both for the transfer fee and the wage structure. And mind you, in case you didn't know, this is a record transfer for a player in the championship because effectively West Ham have been relegated to the championship. So that is a lot of money. All right. But I'm very happy as a United fan that United did not go overboard with this transfer. They were able to, set their limits and stick to their guns. Gone are the days of Ed Woodward where Man United would have overpaid for transfers, or gone are the days where Man United would have been pressured by a manager that get me this player or I will not be able to perform. And I don't think that that is the most effective way for football clubs, the top football clubs, to perform. I believe, I've never believed in paying over the odds for a particular player, okay, over the market value for a particular player. I know that they are superstars and I know that there are monies that superstars command. However, I believe in good scouting and good coaching, that is better than splurging on fees. Yes, there might be times, there might be exceptions for that, times when a club will need to splurge out on a player. However, I think one of my favorite teams in the Premier League, was Mauricio Pochettino's Tottenham. Okay, and I learned a lot from them, and I saw how good scouting and good coaching helped that club to mix it with the big guns. Okay, eventually culminating in a Champions League final appearance, which they lost by 2 goals to 0 to Liverpool. All right, until the project stalled. So I believe you can scout better and get your talents before they become, mainstream. However, if you think that you've gotten your team to a place where they can compete and they just need that crown jewel, then why not go ahead and splurge? Go get your Virgil van Dijk, go get your Allison. All right, go get Go get your Declan Rice for the case of Arsenal. So I'm very happy that Man United did not pay over the odds. However, it is not enough to pass up on a player. It is also important to see the alternatives. Where the Man United go from here? Currently, I think Manuel Ugarte is injured. Kobe Mino is the only fit central midfielder, deep line central midfielder that the club has. I know Mason Mount is seen by Michael Carrick as a central midfielder, but we all know that he's been plagued by injuries ever since his transfer to Manchester United. And of course, even if he's going to have a good season, we don't know what the future holds. But Man United cannot rely on him alone. And lest I forget, Man United have already agreed a deal for the transfer of Brazilian midfielder Ederson, who is expected to have his medicals after the World Cup and join Man United. All right. However, I don't think that that is sufficient. Man United needs strength in depth. They need numbers. They need about 5 to 6 central midfielders, I would say, now that they are going to be playing in the Champions League next season. So I'm very happy actually. I'm happy that my club is now playing like a big club. And like I said earlier, I would like to see the alternatives to Man United. I'm happy that they didn't bow to Mateus Fernandes, pardon me. I'm happy that Man United did not bow to the whims and caprices of agents, specifically Judge Mendes this time around. Okay, we saw the rigmarole, the tactical play that he tried to do to get the best deal for his club. And yes, lest I forget, I have to say huge congratulations to every West Ham fan. I'm happy for them. I'm always happy when a club can get the maximum transfer fee that they can get for their player. I think that's a very good one. So congratulations to all West Ham fans. And I'm not sure that if David Sullivan was still in control of West Ham at this time, they would have been able to get that fee. So that's the championship record, and that will help them to offset some of their bills in the championship and hopefully help them to stay afloat. All right. So I'm really happy, and I would like to hear your comments. What do you think about this transfer, Matheus Fernandes to West Ham? And finally, talking about Tottenham, I think maybe Tottenham fans should be proud. They should be glad. This is one of the few times that their club has gone out and competed with a big team and paid good money, okay, for a player. I don't think this would have happened under Daniel Levy. Instead, Daniel Levy had this habit of waiting till the tail end of the transfer before he plunges feet into the deep end. And usually by this time, most Tottenham Hotspur targets would have transferred to another club, and then they'll be left with buying alternatives. But this time they've gone ahead. And I think this also ties in with them getting their coach, okay, Roberto De Zerbi. I know he's a very demanding coach, and it looks like Roberto De Zerbi has been the one driving their targets, their transfer targets this time around, and they don't want to disappoint him. I think Spurs are tired of hearing their coaches come out to lambast them. Antonio Conte did that. Ange Postecoglou did that, saying that they don't have the ambition, they don't want to take that next step. And I know that Deserbi is a very demanding coach. So he must have gone in there to say, guys, get me so and so, so and so. They signed Jean Paul Van Acker for about £56 million, despite him having just 1 year left on his deal. It's a lot of money for me, considering the value, considering the length of his contract. I think he's a good centre back. However, I think valuation also in football is sometimes results dependent. His Spurs went ahead next season and got into the top four and probably won a domestic trophy or two. Nobody would remember even if they signed a player for 200 million, especially if the player delivered averagely. All right, so I think at the end of the day, football is a results-based business. We are going to judge the value of a player based on the old team first. That is why you see that top teams like say Man City, their flops look to get away with much in the media, unlike other clubs who are not doing so well. So it looks like the whole weight of the team and the underperformance of that team will now fall on these unlucky footballers who didn't necessarily set the price for their transfers. However, sometimes we know that their agents were complicit, all right, in getting higher transfer fees for these footballers so that the agents could get a higher percentage of the deal. So overall, those are my thoughts on Matheus Fernandes to Tottenham Hotspurs. He's still a player that I like. I'm going to keep rooting for him, except the days when he plays against my club, of course, or except the days when a Tottenham loss or draw will favor Manchester United. So, as always, this is the football jury. Stay tuned for more. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Do you think is worth the fee? Do you think there's a gold standard? There's a template to valuing players? Do you think Tottenham have paid over the odds? Do you think that this is a good signing for them? What do you think Man United should look at after this? Do you think Man United did well by passing up this opportunity? All right, until next time we come your way, it's enjoy the beautiful game, and this is still the football jury. Bye.